Zen and the Art of Real Estate Investing with my guest, Chris Seveney. Chris is the CEO and co-founder of 7E Investments. He has carved out a very interesting career, multi-million-dollar asset portfolio, managed the construction and rehab of properties worth over 150 million, managed an impressive 750 million in new construction, and since 2016 has been in the mortgage note game, which we're going to talk about a lot. Chris, welcome to the show.
Jonathan, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you here because we were joking before in the pre-call that we've kind of known each other for at least 10 years just from the forums on BiggerPockets, but this is the first time we've ever connected. It's been an interesting road, right?
Oh, it's, interesting, long, but fun, entertaining, and you never know what tomorrow is going to bring in the world of real estate.
Yeah. Even I've got the BiggerPockets shirt on to represent since that's where we met. But just in terms of that, look, because we've both been on there for a long time and we're both seasoned investors, what have you gotten out of having that as a hub? Because there's still really nothing like it out there. And you and I still use it, 10 years later.
Yeah, it's a great place, a great forum to meet new people. I can't tell you how many people we've met, how many people I've learned from. It's what got me started in note investing.
Wow.
To
Okay.
be honest. And, for me and kind of rewinding back my story as we talk about, I've been in real estate for a really long time, since the late 90s. And
Yeah.
I've done construction management. I started a multifamily group for a real estate developer, managed a family office. And in 2016, I was trying to figure out kind of the next move internally for my own portfolio
Yeah.
and realize, what do I got to do? And uh, you know, the tax lien and notes section, I was like, whoa, I didn't know you could do this. And actually, I started with tax liens and I
Yeah.
was like, this is goddamn boring. And excuse the phrase. And then I realized, oh, you can buy defaulted notes. This is fun.
Was it really notes that took you into another realm?
Yeah, it was the notes. And having the experience I had, first, you always look at, okay, let me maybe look at rentals and or rehabs in other markets.
Yeah.
And we had built our primary residence. We've done rehabs. If you're not there every day, you have no idea what's going on. And
Completely
even if you
agree.
think know what's going on, you don't.
Yeah.
And from that standpoint, being a control freak, it's okay. I'm not going to try and manage from afar. It's hard managing construction when you're there. Never mind from
Yeah.
afar. So
Yeah.
that's really where it got us into that note investing space. And I started with, just a few notes that were low dollar to try and see, hey, do I like this? And being an engineer by background, and notes is really kind of like game theory and problem solving.
Yeah.
Okay, this person's not paying. How do I get them to pay? What can I do? Like, what's the next chess move? It allowed me to use my brain, I think, and be able to think where, and I'll just go back to tax liens. And again, people make a lot of money on tax liens,
Yeah.
but to me, it's boring. It's like you buy it and they either reinstate or you go to I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing in between. Where notes, there's back and forth. There's crazy stories like we had one yesterday where, the guy was going to pay it off, but he also runs a assisted living facility and a woman jumped off the third floor of the building, so he couldn't pay it off. And, you hear some of these stories that just like, man, the lives that some people live just are mind blowing.
I wanted to go back on your construction thing because I think it's really important for new investors right now. Construction, I agree completely. I've been flipping my whole life, but I'm a control freak as well. And I'm such a control freak that I had to hire a project manager and never show up because everything makes me insane. And that's when I live 5 minutes from the property. So if I lived, try to flip out of state, I will, that trust factor just doesn't work for me. Can you give a little bit of more clarity on why new flippers should be careful now with your construction background?
Wow,
This
where do you
is a
want to start?
very a common forum topic where
Well,
you and I
yeah,
both show
well,
up together.
let's just be, if you would know, so let's say you have a property and you're rehabbing it. Let's say you don't have running water on this property. And let's say you are nice enough to go put a porta john out in the yard and so forth and so on. Historically, figures, I'd say probably 30% of people may actually go out and use it. And it's only to use it when they're, doing, not, a liquid release, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Soda bottles, water bottles, get filled with yellow liquid and get left in the walls all the time.
Yeah.
People doing things in bathtubs or wherever. I mean, it's pretty grotesque. I mean, that's just from a cleanliness standpoint. Then from a, construction standpoint, if you can't see it, you don't know. And I've seen jobs where they've literally, cut holes in ductwork to run a pipe through ductwork.
Yeah.
They've cut joists, they've cut studs. It's supposed to be a bearing wall, and they put the studs 24 inches on center. They didn't waterproof showers or waterproof floor, tile.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it. I've built so many. I built homes, I built townhouses, I built apartments, condos. You name it. I've pretty much probably seen it. Found people sleeping in bathtubs in units that were getting divorced and living in the house. It's unbelievable the amount of stuff that goes on when nobody's around.
Yeah. I mean, these are just really important because I feel like it all looks good, especially now. There's a lot of shiny objects out there, so it looks attractive to get in there, try to flip a property or try to do a live and flip yourself. But none of
Mhm.
these things really are that have the high potential to work out. As even experienced flippers like myself, I still hit the skid sometimes because things change, or you find something, as you said, behind the wall that you would never expect to be there, and that can happen at any time.
Well, here's another thing too that people forget about. Okay, you've got your painters scheduled for Monday and your finishers scheduled for that, following Wednesday or Thursday. Your drywallers don't show up. And
Yeah,
then, they don't come show up or they don't finish. Then your painters show up on Monday and the painter's like, hey,
they
I
can't
want to
do
get paid.
anything.
I want to get paid for the day. And you're like, I'm not paying you. And then they're like, okay, we're not going to show up again until you pay us. And then that person's like, well, I'm not going to pay you. And then they waste 2 months trying to find a new painter,
Yeah,
or you pay them and then good luck trying to get it back from the drywall guy who you probably already paid to do the work anyways. I mean, the stuff like that always happens as well. That
yeah.
is above and beyond just what the physical looking at the work. There's the management and coordination of all the different trades that you have to make sure they're all in line. If you're a newer investor and you're looking at the forum posts or looking to post something, here's, the best advice I could give you is before you ask a question, spend some time looking it up and then post a question. Hey, I've been researching this and this. This says this says that. I'd like to get people's opinions.
Yeah,
Then you'll get a response.
you get great ones.
One that I saw the other day is, what's the best zip code on the East Coast to invest in? And I'm like, so
Well, that's like,
some,
yeah, that's the same as what city should I invest in? I'm like,
yeah,
what? I mean, first of all, I was joking in the forums. I have to say it because I never talk about it on the podcast. But like, if you just say anything about where should I invest, there's like 18 people from Columbus into the forum in 1 second. And you're like, is this the only city on earth? But like, they know what they're doing. But you have to know. It's like when you go in any forum, let's just take Facebook, for example. You go in a Facebook group and you ask, hey, I need a real estate agent. And then the people who answer are all real estate agents. Like, I'm the best. I'm the best. Like this,
oh,
that's not helpful.
like this one guy just posted recently, and I refrained because I was going to basically say like this place is a what hole, and he's like, Toledo is the best city in America to live and invest in, and I'm like, no, I've invested in Toledo, and trust me, it is not even close to the best. And I'm like, you must have, reading this person, they literally just bought a property, they're house hacking, and they're all
Yeah.
excited. And they get that new, when you're in real estate for 30 years, yes, we're just grumpy old men, and because we've seen so much. And I appreciate the younger people having the energy and that, that spirit in the pop about, oh, this is awesome. Like, wait till you get to our age,
Yeah.
just grandparents who are grumpy and old. That's just what we
Look,
are.